welcome to the L-5 podcast. We are back with another full feature film, and tonight's film was The Mitchells versus the Machines on Netflix.
Mitchells have always been weird, and that's what makes us great. Hold on a second.
What's a Furby?
Why would someone build that?
This was an animated movie, I think by Sony Pictures, and this was my pick for this film. So context for this movie, it used to be called The Connected, is what they were calling it. Horrible title. But it was basically, this family who was connected to their devices all the time, and the father wanted them to get away from that and get back to, being a family and interact with one another and everything like that. Kind of like what's going on nowadays with everyone. So it was called Connected. Then they went and switched it, and the title changed to The Mitchells versus the Machines, which I think is a better title. Still not a great one, but it's a better one. So in the first 17 minutes, and I saw this preview like over and over and over. It was supposed to come out last year, and the pandemic changed that. So the first 17 minutes I wrote, I like this. I can relate to the characters, and it's funny. The dad watching the family movies really tugged at my heartstrings. I thought that was a really great emotional moment. I totally relate to the dad not approving to the daughter going to film school. My dad had this same situation with me wanting to go to film school. He totally didn't believe that was going to be a good decision for me. But now look at me, and he's like so proud. So I'm giving this a 4-star to start with. It starts out with a bang. It puts you right into the action, right into the tone of what this movie is going to be like, and then pulls it back and gives you all the comic sticks and all the character development that you need after the first probably 5 or 6 minutes. So I personally was really enjoying it. I liked the animation. I liked the different styles that they were going with. And it kind of felt like in the first 17 minutes, I got this Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs type of feel to it. I don't know if you guys saw that movie or not. I think it may be the same production company, not the same directors, but I think it may be the same production company that did that film, that did this one. So that's the vibes I got from that. And I really enjoyed Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. So I was at 4 stars in the first 17 minutes. I was really enjoying it.
Well, hello, Yang. My name is Yang. This is what I wrote. I said, I have no interest in this movie. I said, it does not entertain me as an adult the way Disney and Pixar do. I did like some of the scribbles, like on her nails. And I don't know if y'all noticed, like the clouds and different little things they did that I thought added some visual depth that I hadn't seen before. And I thought that was neat. But at this point, 17 minutes, I hadn't laughed. I wasn't relating. I just was like, what is this? Now, in fairness, didn't know anything about this movie until we started watching it. So I didn't know what it was supposed to be about. But I'm so used to Pixar and Disney giving me as an adult enough to make me feel like this movie was also made for me. I wasn't getting that in the first 17 minutes. I felt like this is more of a, sit your kids down in front of it kind of movie. Maybe a family movie so we can say we had family time, but certainly not something as an adult that I would watch alone.
You didn't get that from the father-daughter scene where he was watching the family movies? They didn't give you that adult part of it at all?
No, no. Adult in what way?
He has no heart. That's
no, I don't have a heart. I mean, he's watching her and them as a baby. Like, I think for you, Corey, that was very touching because you did things. You have old movies. I don't have any of that stuff. That's not a touchy-feely area for me because it's not something, no. I gave this a 2 at 17 minutes.
Where were you at the first 17 minutes? You were what?
A 2.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
no heart. No heart. Stacy, do you have a heart?
Stacey, what was your score?
I'm gonna have to say I was surprised because mostly I like darker films, and all that. So how Marcy's like, oh, let's see Trolls. It's like I don't want to see the crap. I mean, I don't that kind of stuff. Usually, I don't really go for cartoon-based movies or whatever. And it wasn't for the fact that you said, "Hey, we're doing this," and I was like, okay. But watching it, I said it made me laugh and cry the first 17 minutes.
Please tell me what was funny in the first 17
and cried. I mean, it was just the whole and the sister and brother dynamic. I mean, maybe because my family, they all live in Birmingham and all that, and I don't have that kind of relationship like with my father or whatever. But I mean, I don't have it on a personal level like Corey does, about film school. He understands that. I didn't have that kind of thing, but the fact that a parent or whatever doesn't truly understand you or that kind of thing, or just it's not a perfect family situation. Mm-hmm. But you end up finding they love each other, but it's just one of those, you have growing pains between you and another parent. And then the whole, so I could understand that. But the whole, when he was seeing like the pictures of, when she was a kid and all that kind of stuff. And that, she's still a kid. Cause I mean, she's, that old, but I mean the baby pictures, and I was like, I miss
okay, see.
I was just, of me going away to college, maybe because it made me thought, because, I went to college in North Carolina. My family's in Birmingham, Alabama. That's like a 7-8 hour drive. Mm-hmm. So that was like the first time I was that far away. So when it was happening, I was like, oh my God. I really started bawling for a minute there.
Oh,
wow.
I gotta see my man. I was like, ooh, I hated you, Corey. I was like, why did you choose this picture? But with the first, the father realizing that he needs to work on his approach too, because it wasn't just the daughter. And there were some things when she said, "This is why I'm leaving." I was like, backhand at that point. But at the same time, he realized that he wasn't opening himself up to what she liked, what she wanted, and that was never a situation really for me. But I've seen it before in other families where somebody, especially I guess it could be in any family, but I know, especially in that community, when we do stuff that's more fine arts related, like you need to have a backup job, a real job to get, And so film or dance or anything like that, a lot of parents don't understand that that's not going to be a real job, and they don't want you to or they think it can't be a real job. So I can see the dad's point of view in that case, mm-hmm. that you might can't make it in this dream. I mean, how many film, that kind of stuff. But seeing the brother and the sister, and my brother and I, now we have an awesome relationship. Granted, when I was that age, we did not, but once I went to college and all that, I could see it. He gets me in a way that no one else does. And so I could recognize that in that whole thing about the brothers kind of weird, sisters kind of weird, but they're weird together. They're friends, that kind of stuff. So it really appealed to me. And I was really, really shocked. Mm-hmm. And I was really, really shocked. And I really, really enjoyed the first, I enjoyed the whole movie, but really at that point, I really enjoyed it. And at that point, it was a 4, possibly 5 just for that. Yes, it was. I have a heart. I don't know.
That's awesome.
No, your heart was unfrozen because of this movie. Don't act like it's always there and always nice.
Maybe it's not always there, but it was most definitely there for that. So.
Wow. Okay.
Jeremy?
Yeah. The emotional roller coaster didn't go as high as Stacy's, but I did, Lord have mercy, I did feel the fact of like the fine arts and the, because I double major. I got a psych degree and I got a design degree because my parents were like, oh, we support you, we love you, but like, is this going to make you profitable? And then, also art school is hard. Like I've always been good at design, but I never knew like that could be a career. So just like her with film school and like Corey was talking about, there were always these kind of doubts. But when your parents doubt you, like, yo, like you know that's the kind of mainstay of the support you need when you go to college. So I love the whole college thing, and obviously working at one like that pulled at me like, oh, I get it. Like tons of students, you know, once I can see parents now like, don't you take care of my baby, take care of my child. I'm like, look, make sure your child don't be kissing these other children. That's what you need to be worried about. Don't worry about me, worry about your child kissing these other children. But but I like let's get to the nitty gritty, y'all. Sorry, but like the editing, I like the editing animation again, design. Like I love animation, even though I do concur with what Stacy's saying. Some animated films, like I'm like whatever. But once I saw the trailer, I was like, okay, this is cool. And then I like the editing style of the way that's not just straight animation. You'll get some like cartoon clips. You'll get the bubble with the little clip art. Like I like all that kind of like funky editing that they do for animation. So that was cool. The laptop scene and the dad was acting the fool. I was like, I'm intrigued. I didn't laugh like the whole time, but there were snippets of me like actually laughing, and I really enjoyed that because sometimes some of that corniness don't really get to me, but it was like really legit funny at certain points, not all the time. And yeah, I gave it a 3.5 because I was entertained, but I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna get. And it was like 3.54. I don't have the note. I wrote a note about like I couldn't decide on which one I wanted. And the reason is because I didn't know enough of the characters, and I knew the machines is in the title. So what the heck is a machine have to do with any of this? And so that's where I was like, I'm gonna hold my judgment on giving it like a 4.5. So I left it 3.5. And then I said, I'll wait to let the movie give me the rest of my expectation. I'm gonna wait to let the movie fulfill the rest of my expectation to see if it's actually good or not. So yeah, it was straight. It was good to me. I didn't have any issues, but yeah.
Okay, so I'll take us on the roller coaster back on up again. Okay. So yeah, I was a 4. I was really loving this. So I'm the dad in this group. So I completely feared that I would be in the position that dad was in, where his kids grow up and leave and don't want to ever come back. That's just the fear as a father I have. And so I'm thinking that so far this movie is good because I haven't totally ruined everything with my kids. Oh wait, this should be a mini review, not of the movie and not me. But this is I thought this was really beautifully done. It had a real mix of animation styles like we've all been talking about. The 3D and the 2D, the painterly textures were really nice. The creases on the dad's forehead were just part of the texture that was painted on, and the way that the daughter's hair was just I just kept staring at the hair because it's just so really well done, because it's kind of blocky, kind of chunky, and kind of wispy at the same time. Mm-hmm. It's kind of neat. And at this point, there's a lot to get started, and the family road trip seems a little long. It just, this whole setup in the 17 minutes just seemed really, really long to me. So like there's some weird pacing things that are happening, but the movie starts off at the end. It starts out with a flash of the excitement, the drama, and flash forward of the excitement and the drama, and the machines are already attacking and everything. And then it goes to the family drama, dead stop, family drama. And maybe that's what's kind of off-putting about the beginning of the movie, is that it's action, 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 start. Now I'm going to, or stop. Now I'm going to start telling you who all these people are. Yeah. And it was slow, and it really was kind of slow getting all the way to the convenience store, the dinosaur place, where everything really started happening. So it didn't, but I wasn't ready to walk out. It wasn't so slow that I was ready to like do a walkout. Mm-hmm. I shared something else in common. This, I cleaned him up a little bit since last night. I took a super dusty picture and sent it in the chat. But this is Beck, everybody. Okay. There's a little statue that's like a story piece, MacGuffin. I guess it's not really a MacGuffin. There's no real plot around it or anything, but there's a set piece of this, super cute little thing that the kid just sort of tosses aside. And so this dusty little thing was in our basement, and I had to go get it because it kind of represents the same thing. This cute little thing that, probably meant a lot more to me than it did to my kid. But yeah, so this is Bleck. This is Shrek's cousin.
Okay.
Because it's not really Shrek.
Oh, I didn't know they found me. Okay.
It's just a little generic kind of troll thing that I threw into the Lego Castle Blocks Playmobil set kind of thing, to just kind of go in with that. It's like, because they needed a monster. Anyway.
Well, to continue with the conversation after the first 17 minutes of this film, I thoroughly was enjoying it. When we get past the first 17 minutes, we really start to get into the plot when they get to the dinosaur store, and where you find out that this CEO is basically taking his iPhone and turning it into a robot. And of course, it's going to turn, evil. But yet he's going, it's not going to turn evil, blah, blah, blah. But you see it coming a mile away, right? And so it's not really that convoluted. It's not really something that you can't really guess going right away. But you get these Apple vibes from it. You're like, the Apple Corporation and da-da-da. You get, I was getting the movie Her with Joaquin Phoenix type vibe of where he's, the computer thinks that he's in love with her, so of course she's going to turn on him kind of thing or whatever. I was getting all of that. The funniest part, one of the funniest jokes to me, what?
I said spoiler because I have not seen Her.
Warning, 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 warning.
Well, that's not really what happens.
Stacey, it came out 50 years ago. It's something.
That's not really exactly what happens, but that's a great movie. You should watch the movie.
It is.
Corey, have you seen Ex Machina as well?
Yes, love Ex Machina too. I can see the same type of thing. But one of the funniest jokes to me was when they turn off the Wi-Fi, and everybody just goes crazy. And I was like, I know me and Dana will be in the same situation. And so so the robots are trying to trap them into these boxes, and they said, "Oh, there's Wi-Fi in these boxes." And the guy's going, "Take me with you."
We would not be in the same because I'd be like, Corey, go check that box out.
See how many bars you get in there.
Box. Right. There was like 10 or 15 of these people trying to get in one box to get to the Wi-Fi. Oh, and they're like, "Oh, we're gonna have to." They turned into like a Lord of the Flies type of thing. They're like, we need to, sacrifice somebody, and it was hilarious. It was hilarious. And the scene in the dinosaur store where the family that has it all together, and they love each other or whatever. They're like, we got a plan. We know how we're gonna get out of here. We're gonna do some yoga, get into this car, and then they try to do the same thing. He about broke her back, trying to flip over her. It was just funny. There was some really, really great jokes and some great moments in these movies that just had me dying laughing. I just really, really enjoyed it. And the family dynamic and everything that was there, I was latched onto these characters and their story and rooting for them to win in the end. The only thing that I would say, so I kept my 4 stars throughout the entire movie. Like, I really enjoyed it. The only thing that I would say though is that, God, this movie is long. Like, yeah, it is 2 hours. It's like an hour 57 or something like that, and you truly felt it. Like, Dana and I stopped at one point because we were like, "Oh, we need to go check on the dog" or whatever it was, and we looked and it was like, "Damn, we got 45 minutes."
Right. I stopped at that same point.
Yeah.
Because when I came back, I'm like, 40 more minutes?
What?
We're in the scene that could be the end.
Exactly. It's like, what else can happen in 45 minutes?
Like, I knew it was getting ready to be over too.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. They easily could have shaved off half an hour in this movie. Like, easy. And made it an easy 90. You don't need 2 hours to tell this story. You really don't. So that was the only drawback to me, was just how long the movie was. You really feel every single minute. But I still really enjoyed it. I probably wouldn't go back and watch it again. I'd refer it to people who want to see it, but I find it could possibly also hard for children to sit through for 2 hours, because you really do feel that time limit. You know what I mean? This is not like a Little Mermaid or whatever kind of thing where there's songs and stuff like that to help.
Well, do you think little kids will really kind of get a story like this about going to college and all of that? So yeah, I don't think they would. I think they. Yeah. I think it was. I think it was for us. I think it was for, maybe preteens and high school kids. I mean, from that, at least that age, but definitely not littles.
Yeah.
I can see it being for kids who are, like you said, maybe in high school getting ready to go off, or early in high school. Now you still have time to mend the get your eyes off the phone and work with your family and be. I can see that. I can see that.
Yeah. The voice talent in this was amazing. Maya Rudolph was the mother.
Love that.
Fred Armisen was robot. Deborah Bot 5000. He was awesome. I just thought he was so funny. But I think Beck Bennett was the second robot. He was the voice of the second robot. He's on Saturday Night Live currently. I want to say he got actually a lot more lines than it seemed like Fred Armisen had. But I thought Fred Armisen gave his robot a little bit more character, even though they were kind of programmed to be the same. But I really like that a lot. I like their friendly. Okay.
And Chrissy Teigen and John Legend, they played husband and wife. I thought that was cute. I thought that was neat.
They were the neighbors.
Mm-hmm.
I will say though, also, Brian, that I actually didn't care for the robots. Like, they didn't really make me laugh. The only time the robots made me laugh is when he was like, "Oh, let me go downstairs and see if I can find." And they did the whole escalator elevator thing. That was funny.
You just died laughing, didn't you? That was hilarious.
I did. I thought it was funny. I was like, "Oh, they're gonna do the bit." I thought that was funny, but themselves, I didn't really laugh too much at their lines. But everybody else, I thought they were really good.
Did they say where they were from? The family originally, where were they from? What? Because I was looking at that road trip and the places they were going. I was like, where were they coming from? I mean, I knew they were.
I don't.
Went through Missouri because I saw the art, and then I thought they were going through the Grand Canyon because I was thinking that because the
Did you saw the big waterfalls?
Yeah, it's like Niagara Falls. It's like, where you go? Where are y'all?
Oh, that's a good question. That's funny.
Yes, it was everywhere, and I was like, where are you coming from?
I think they just were implying they were somewhere on the East Coast because they were going to California. So
yeah, but I was like, okay, what route are y'all taking? But I was like, I enjoyed that because we used to do that as not that kind of thing, but we used to go from Birmingham to Detroit and Chicago and that kind of thing, and I just remember that's like all day driving. But it was, as long as I wasn't doing the driving, I was a kid. So it's like, okay, in the back seat. Pretty much sleeping most of the way. But
the only city they really established, they were like, the PAL headquarters is in Denver. They said, we are in Denver. I was like, why don't y'all establish the other cities? Because it was clear that they needed to rendezvous and make it to there to then put the kill switch, whatever. But I was like, that's the only city I remember them distinctly talking about multiple times. I was like, Denver, okay, cool. But I didn't understand where else. It could have been California, could have been Pacific Northwest. I didn't know where they were going. So
it sounds like maybe they didn't want people to know where they're coming from. It sounds like they want everybody to feel like it could have been from your area, because just hearing all the places that y'all know, this is, I have no clue where they would have been coming from. It doesn't make any sense. So I don't know. Needless to say, I did not like this movie. I will say this was a walkout for me, but instead of actually walking out, I just TikToked for a little while it was playing, and I did not enjoy this. Now, I will say the one thing that I liked and I could relate to was the mom towards the end. The movie went from being PG to like a PG-13. When she started stabbing them robots in the head and blood splat, I'd like to die. I thought that was funny. I thought it was hilarious.
It was great.
And so that part I enjoy. If they had given me more of that, because again, that's that grown-up humor to me, but giving it to you in a kid-friendly manner, you know, and it made me laugh. It was funny. I got that. And I felt like I could relate to mom, because you know how it is. If it's my family member or somebody, Corey knows. Like I'm pretty you know, cool person, whatever. But when I get riled up and crazy, like there's no 5. It's 0 to 10. That's it. It's 10. We all the way there, or we're not there at all. So that's kind of how I am. And so I was like, that mom, that would be me. So I could relate to that, and I thought that was funny.
And
go ahead.
No, I was interrupting. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, unfortunately, that was during the last 5 minutes of the movie. It wasn't enough for me to like it. So I would still stick with my I'll give it 2.5. And the only reason why is honestly, and you, Brian, you talked about this too, is I did really like the visuals in that they were not, like I said, they gave me more depth. They weren't as flat as what I'm used to seeing. So all those little things, you know, that they would pop in that wasn't traditional, what we're used to seeing when we see an animated film. I did enjoy that. And I wish maybe they could do that in other movies, because I didn't really like this one. But 2.5 is the most I can give you from my cold dead heart. I'm sorry.
You know, the closest thing that I could relate to this that did that was Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Oh, and I love that.
Where they showed different levels of depth of animation based off of which type of Spider-Man they were in, universe that they were coming from. That's where I could relate this to. That was really cool.
Yeah. Dana, I'm just going to add, when the mom went into super turbo mode, they even had those references to Kill Bill.
Yes.
The that soundtrack. That was awesome. And you even got the blood splatters, because it was like oil splatter.
Boy, when the that was funny to me.
That was so well done.
She ripped hearts out. She was stabbing through the face.
Yeah.
The Mortal Kombat movie.
Yeah. It's like, okay, we're gonna write this scene in and see how long it stays on the storyboards. And just like it just stayed in all the way through. It's great. It was so good. I'm giving the final score of a 5 on this. I think I really enjoyed this, but like Corey just said, I don't know that I'd watch it again though. Yeah. But I really think it's a really well done animation. There's so much action in it, and I think that so much of the dialogue was actually really clever, and clever enough for an adult audience to enjoy. And so I really, it's on my top list.
Jeremy, Stacy, where were y'all at?
4. I give it a 4 as well. I really did like that. And I mean, I have, you know, it just made me, like I said, laugh and cry, because like, oh my gosh, your parents, you're gonna miss it when they come. But at the same time, I mean, it kept my attention, but I have to agree, it was a little bit long. Yeah. But at the least, it kept me interested all the way to the end. But there was a point where I was like, how much longer is it? I mean, really shouldn't going to the store wasn't enough. We're gonna have to keep on going. Okay, all right. But I enjoyed that.
I kept my 3.5 when we got to that big Furby scene, and I was like, we about to do Kung Fu Panda, and I was like, Lord have mercy. Like the big Furby scene was, to me, I was like, okay. And then when we went, I knew they were going to have to show up to the you know where everything was taking place. That's clear and obvious. But at that point, I think I laughed because Brian was like in the Discord. He was like 48 minutes or something. I was like, man, Brian joking. I was like, and then I looked and I hit pause. I was like, what are we doing? So I deducted points because I felt like they could have cleaned up the editing and made it a lot shorter, and it was longer. And I can see why you all rate it high and still say I don't want to watch. Not that I don't want to watch it again, but would I watch it again? Probably not. And this is one of the few movies which that's happened. A lot of our 4.5s or 5s, you all are like, well, I'll watch it again. Like, I would be glad to recommend it. But this is one of those that like it's over a 3 for a lot of us, but I don't know if we'll watch again. So I gave it a 3.5, but also I like the editing style. Like I said, I like that it reminded me of like when we watch animated films for L-5, like we watch Soul. I wouldn't watch Soul really that many times, but I would watch this again because I felt like, you know what I'm saying? Like this was, I'm not gonna say more authentic, but it felt like it was more genuine. It felt like the actors really cared a little bit more. It felt like the story was more like linear and comprehensive. And I mean, so it was cool to me, and I liked that it kept my attention. Even though it was long, I never said it didn't keep my attention. And then I would say the last thing is that the characters as well, like the dog to the little child to the brother sister dynamic that you all mentioned earlier, to the like this family that is like the Joneses that got it all together, who really probably struggling but fronting like they got it together. Like I like that. Like add those dynamics in the movie, because to me, if they didn't have that, if they didn't have the robots with the family, like even though I know Corey said he didn't really like those 2 robots, to me, they added a little bit of value. Like they added, because to me, when I was watching, I was like, yo, they got weapons. Like they should be like killing people. They should be like helping this family infiltrate the PAL, the iPhone factory. Like that's the whole premise to me, is those robots were helping them to like succeed in their journey. But like that's just me. Like I like the little hexagon looking black robots with the red. I was like I like the fact that they have a challenge. Again, back to what we were talking about before, the convenience of, if it was just easy for them to walk into there and then she put the little USB and then it's over, that's boring. Nobody want to see that. But like they actually had a challenge. So 3.5. I'm not mad that I saw it at all. It was a good film, but it's too long to watch again. That's it's not the problem of the film, it's the length of the film. I couldn't watch. I would have to watch half of it. So
yeah.
One thing I did want to mention is the idea that they're going to get every human on Earth into that. And I don't know, because I did check out, so y'all have to tell me, was there one of these every 100 miles? Because the people that they had in there was no way it was everybody on Earth.
They were all over the world. Yeah.
Did we address how many people died when it fell to the ground?
It's like, oh my God.
I did think that was like, okay, we're gonna have some people dead, or once they open up, how they gonna get out?
Yeah, because they said they were gonna make it so that you cannot get out of it. But I was like, maybe. And I thought that was the thing they were going to send into outer space. But I didn't know if they were going into something else. So when they were able to get out, the ones who didn't die, I was like, well, how are they getting out? I don't know. That was just, it felt like a whack iRobot.
Oh my God.
I could get I got some iRobot vibes. Yeah.
Me too,
but in fairness, listening to you, Brian, and hearing the daddy-daughter aspect of it, I can totally see how this would be touching and something that meant a lot to you, and something that you would have enjoyed seeing. Same with you, Stacey. So I get it. I just didn't. That wasn't the feeling that I got when I watched it. But I can totally see how you would feel that way.
Oh yeah, so I'll bet Corey and I both kind of relate to the daughter too, going off to film school, and and like the talk about having the backup career, because it's like I don't know about you, Corey, but I'd become totally stuck if somebody asked me to do a real job.
Yeah, we had this conversation just the other day. Me and David did. So yeah, absolutely.
I was trying to show him something that in my world is like basic, easy peasy, whatever. You know how it's like when you just want to snatch something from somebody and do it for them. I was just laughing. It was because I know
like,
you feel
here,
that way.
I was like,
too, but
I don't see it. What are you talking about?
I was like,
awful. I was like,
calculate what in an Excel doc, huh?
Yeah.
Like I think you're trying to get it to print right. That's look, this stuff is so simple. Like they gave him a calendar, he wanted to print it.
Yo, but
So much time.
I felt old girl when he broke that laptop. If somebody would have broke
Oh yeah.
Oh, that was
if,
crazy.
if my parents would have broke my iMac, I'm sorry. We somebody scrapped it. Like
Oh,
No, we going to the store and you getting me another one. Like
give me
this.
another one.
Exactly.
well, yeah, but you know what was even sadder for me with this was that the whole time growing up, I wanted to go to film school. I wanted to go to art school and everything, and I didn't have even a video camera. So this character had
Right.
the benefit of all of that. She not only had the video camera and the home movies. Dana, I didn't have home movies either growing up. We didn't even have a film camera in our house. They existed, and the video cameras existed, but not in my house. But I'm not that old. But I had to go to art school in order to get my first camera. So it's pretty cool that she was already a filmmaker in her own right and known, in YouTube, which is kind of weird that they actually didn't rename YouTube in this movie.
Yeah,
but
they kept calling it YouTube and everything else. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, sponsored by YouTube.
Talking it too.
Exactly.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I that's where I totally related to it. Like I remember when I was 15 years old, we got our first video camera, and it was a VHC, and I was the only one that wanted it. I was the one who was shooting all the family reunions. I was the one filming all the road trips. I was the one editing with 2 VCRs, side by side, blah, blah, making these, videotapes for everybody. And so I totally related to that. And I was like, this is what I was made to do. This is my passion. And my mom was behind it. My dad, not so much. I mean, he was kind of there, but, again, like Jeremy was saying, he wanted me to have something that was going to be profitable, something that was going to, be sustainable, something that could, let me have a really good career, and money-wise and all that kind of stuff financially. So, but, everything worked out fine. So, it is what it is. But, yeah, so I could totally relate to all that. So that's really what got me hooked, too, was all that stuff that she was doing and, just fell right into my wheelhouse. So, but yeah, so that was great. Everybody gave their reviews, right? Yeah.
Did you give your final score, Corey?
4. I stayed with my 4.
Okay.
Yeah. The length is what got me. The length is really what got me. It was just too damn long. So, all right. So that was our review of The Mitchells versus the Machines, aka Connected, which is a horrible title. But we hope that you enjoyed that podcast. If you saw the movie on Netflix, leave a comment down below. Let us know what you thought about that film. And we will see you guys next time.